Hi, Andre here from the MSAG team. Why do you want to be a doctor? This is perhaps one of the most asked questions for medical school interviews, as well as one of the most important. In this video, we'll discuss how to prepare and deliver a unique and compelling answer. Timestamps in the description below.
Why do you want to be a doctor? It's such a common interview question and one that you really should be prepared to answer. Medical schools want to know that they are giving the correct candidates those sacred places on their course. Part of that decision-making process involves reviewing why you want to study medicine and whether that motivation is going to mean you stick it out throughout the lengthy process. But do you really know why you want to be a doctor? Now, that answer will be personal to yourself, and as a result, I cannot spend the next 10 minutes telling you exactly what your answer should be. However, this video will help you to brainstorm some ideas for yourself. As well as this, we will discuss some of the common pitfalls seen from candidates in medical school interviews, along with a few tips and tricks on how to avoid them. So, let's talk about some of the common reasons that people give at medical school interviews for wanting to go into this career. A love of human biology or science, wanting a career that challenges you daily, to explore a career in medical research or teaching, wanting a career that mixes both science and close contact with people in a caring context, to make a difference to other people's lives, to be dedicated to lifelong learning, wanting to work somewhere with a strong teamwork ethic. For me, personally, I was always drawn to a career in medicine by the variety involved in the job. I remember saying at my interviews that coming across so many different specialities and options during my work experiences meant that I'll never be bored in my future career. I love the idea that I can go into a speciality that I'm really interested in, ophthalmology for example, and during my training I could be learning how to perform microscopic surgery on the eyes, running clinics for patients with chronic illnesses, or researching the next treatment or technique on the forefront of medical technology. The options really are limitless, provided that you're willing to learn and develop. At this point, I would pause the video to get a piece of A4 or A3 paper, turn it landscape, and create a brainstorm of your own ideas of why you want to become a doctor. I always recommend starting off with your name in the center of the page, then creating little branches coming off them with the reasons you want to go into a career in medicine. Part of the difficulty with this question is that a lot of people are going to have a brainstorm that looks fairly similar to yours at the moment. So next we need to work on making yours stand out. With each of your branches, what is it specifically about that point that motivates you to becoming a doctor? Is it that you like exchanging ideas with other people and have seen how working as a team can lead to greater success than individually? Or do you enjoy having your opinions changed and horizons broadened by your learning and want to pursue a career that not only encourages this, but requires it? These are just a couple of examples, but try and work through each one of your points in turn. Add in a reflection to a specific branch that you're describing. This in itself will help to add colour to your answer and make it stand out more at interviews. We recommend that you link the reasons you give to studying medicine with your own personal experiences. For example, patients or moments you've observed during your work experience while shadowing a doctor, or maybe you can recall times during your volunteering that made you interested in becoming a doctor. When have you seen other healthcare workers demonstrate the aspects of medicine that motivate you? When have you experienced medicine firsthand for yourself and realised, you know what, I could spend the rest of my life doing what the doctor is currently doing for me? How have you shown commitment in learning more about a career in medicine? This could also be a chance for you to demonstrate what skills you have already developed that would make you a good doctor. You can use the STAR technique, which you learned about from our video on how to structure example type questions, to describe these skills, because this will also make your answer sound a lot more personal. By now, your brainstorm should be full of reasons and experiences that you can draw upon to answer this question. Then, I tend to approach things in a chronological order. Start with the earliest experience of wanting to do medicine. For some of you, this may be a childhood experience. Maybe you or a loved one had contact with healthcare services. For others of you, maybe it began while studying biology at GCSE level. The key, however, is not to stop here. No one wakes up with a light bulb above their head and says that I'm going to be a doctor. At least, not many people do. So then concentrate on showing the process in a chronological order. I would go through your reasons that you've written down on your brainstorm and pick 3 or 4 that mean the most to you and that you feel you could confidently talk about at your interview. Try to show the research that you've done into the career and the healthcare shadowing and voluntary work that has given you an insight into life as a doctor. Now, unfortunately, I don't know what your brainstorm looks like at the moment, but I'm hoping that you're feeling more confident on how to approach this quite tough question. Finally, all you need to do now is to put that answer onto a piece of paper. Once you've got it written down, keep on practicing and practicing that answer. At this point, most students try and repeat the answer over and over again in their heads or say it out loud to themselves. Instead, I would recommend trying to get someone to listen to you and give you some feedback, as this will help you identify areas which need to be improved. Also, having that pressure of someone listening to you is much more realistic to the real interview than having your family worrying that you're going crazy by talking to yourself constantly in the mirror. Okay, so I promised you some tips and tricks, didn't I? The first tip is relatively easy. Sound passionate. Your reasons for going into medicine might sound brilliant on paper, but if your interviewer doesn't get a sense that this is really important to you and can't see the determination shining through, then you won't be able to achieve top marks. Another really common pitfall when answering this question is listing several different reasons why you want to be a doctor without really expanding on them. This method will not gain you many marks in a medical school interview. Remember to expand on each of your reasons by describing why it has drawn you to a career in medicine. You can also incorporate your STAR technique by utilising 3 or 4 different options for reflection. Now to a point that I've slightly alluded to already. I would like to move the discussion onto the subject of life-defining events. Some people, and you may be one of them, have moments in their life that really did start off their motivation to study medicine. Perhaps you've had to care for a relative, and this exposure to healthcare and seeing the difference it makes to people's lives has driven your aspirations. Or maybe you already have a career caring for children with learning difficulties, and this experience has drawn you to study medicine as it will allow you to provide healthcare for a far greater number of children. If this is you, or you have similar life experiences, then please do talk about this in your interview. But what if you haven't got an example similar to the ones that I've just given? Well, don't panic for starters. Go back to your brainstorm and use the reasons that you formulated there, which are just as valid. The one thing I would avoid doing though is trying to exaggerate an experience so that it fits with the model that you feel the examiners are looking for. For example, if you were to say you fell off a swing when you were 10 years old, which resulted in you going to A&E, and then whilst at A&E you were inspired to study medicine by seeing how the doctors provided and treated you, can you see that this answer can come across as a bit weak? Like I've said, not many people wake up one morning or go to the A&E department once and then say they will become a doctor. Most of the time it's a process, and showing that process with sound reasoning and strong examples will gain you lots of points at interview. Really think about what have those experiences taught you about a career in medicine and why you think you're suited to that career. How about if you're a graduate? Well, I'd advise talking about your postgraduate experiences. If you've already applied to medicine before, then talk about what extra skills and experience you've gained over the years that will help you to become a doctor and further fueled your desire to study medicine. If you haven't applied to medicine before, then talk about the journey you took to arrive at your interview. As a previous examiner myself, I was always very interested to know what inspired graduates to switch career choices into medicine and why they felt that they would be ideally suited for the role given their educational background. My final tip would be to refrain from criticising other careers such as nursing, dentistry or pharmacy, as it doesn't reflect very well on you in the interviews. Instead, if you do have experiences in some of these other careers, I would recommend that you just say that you couldn't see yourself pursuing that sort of career. Now, I will give you a model answer to this question: why you want to be a doctor. Medicine is a career that I've wanted to pursue for a long time, but it has been my volunteering and work experience over the last few years that have proven to me that it's definitely the ideal career for me. I have always found human biology fascinating, but what really piqued my interest was completing my extended project qualification on the role of cytokines in trophoblastic invasion of the endometrium and their role in the development of preeclampsia. I found the subject matter fascinating, but I also found learning the new skills required for the research process a useful experience. Ultimately, the sense of satisfaction on completing the project was very rewarding, and I would therefore like to further explore the possibility of pursuing a career not only in medicine, but also in medical research. I saw the combination of these two job roles when shadowing an academic trainee on the cardiology ward at my local hospital. I was able to observe him in his clinical role. However, I also spoke with him about how he was able to spend a significant part of his job completing a research project on improving the quality of life for heart failure patients. In my spare time, I volunteer for a homeless charity, and over the last year have found that the experience has only fueled my desire to study medicine even further. I often spend time serving dinners in the charity canteen, and on one occasion I got talking to one of the regular attendees. He opened up to me about how his foot had become really painful and he was scared to show anyone. After some persuasion, he let me have a look, and it soon became clear that he had an infection spreading up his leg. With the help of a senior colleague, we persuaded him to go to A&E. That day made me realise the importance that communication skills can play in the care of a patient. I found the experience extremely motivating. I also witnessed the importance of communication skills during my work experience on the cardiology ward when an anxious patient was going for a cardiac catheterisation. I watched as the doctor listened to the patient's worries and reassured her that he would be with her the entire way through. This was something that I could see myself being able to do if I were in a similar situation, and something I would enjoy doing in my future career. Finally, I liked the fact medicine requires a large amount of teamwork. I was also able to spend a day in A&E recess and see for myself the challenges that the team were faced with. It was a very busy environment, with one doctor caring for 4 acutely unwell patients. I saw how the doctor communicated his thoughts clearly and calmly to all the different team members, including the nurses and healthcare assistants. This enabled them to all support each other in caring for these patients. I have had the opportunity to work as part of a team when completing my Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award and as a part of my school drama society. I found that at times when I'm struggling with a task, the support of my peers is extremely helpful. I like to go out of my way to support others when they are really struggling. I feel that this quality would help me to succeed if I were to be part of a team in a high-pressure situation, such as working within A&E research. In conclusion, there are many reasons why I feel that medicine is the perfect career for me, but at the top of that list is my fascination with human biology, along with the desire to work in an area that requires close contact with others and working as part of a team in a challenging environment. Well done, guys. We made it to the end of this video. Over the last 10 minutes or so, we have helped you to brainstorm some ideas on why you want to become a doctor. We've discussed some of the common pitfalls seen from candidates in their medical school interviews, along with a few tips and tricks on how to avoid them. Finally, we have shown you what our model answer would sound like so that you can appreciate the standard that is expected at medical school interviews. I hope that you found it helpful in generating some ideas as to why you want to be a doctor. If you haven't already, I really would recommend taking some time to create your own brainstorm map to help you to develop your answer. Then it's just a case of practice, practice, practice. Good luck with the interviews, and don't forget to let us know how they go.
Hello again, and thanks for watching. Hopefully this video provided you with the techniques you need to formulate a strong answer to this question, but remember, this answer has to be personal to you, so take your time with the brainstorm. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, and if you want to see more medical school admissions content, then subscribe to our channel. We put out new videos every week. Best of luck on your admissions.